Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Today I've got a ton of stories, starting with a couple that are unfortunately fake. Intel's first high-performance 10nm part, B550 boards aren't cheap, Intel's upcoming processors get big IPC gains, and is this big Navi? But first, check out the new Gamer Meld newsletter where you'll be kept up to date when PC hardware actually releases, as well as some great deals. Check that out in the description below. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, there's been a couple stories making the rounds that are definitely interesting, but a bit odd. The first story is on a Ryzen-based mobile SoC made for phones. The next story is a supposed render of the upcoming RTX 3080. You can see it's essentially a 2080 with a third fan. And here's the thing, they're both fake. That's right, Video Cards, a very trusted leaker, made it clear in a tweet that both of these stories are in fact fake. It's actually funny because the third fan is based off of a recent rumor that I did cover, and on the thumbnail I actually made something like that. Obviously I wasn't claiming that's what it actually looked like though, it was just to illustrate what I'd be discussing in the video, which was Nvidia adding a third fan for RTX 3000. Of course, they wouldn't just take the exact same 2000 design and just stretch it out. And while we did hear something like this for mobile phones in the past, this is not it. Next up, it looks like Intel could actually be delivering 10nm Xeon chips on time. That's right, in a recent tweet by Tom Apisak, you can see he shared numerous Geekbench benchmarks on an unnamed Intel CPU. And thanks to some digging by Video Cards, we know that the Northbridge ID is associated with the Whitley platform, which is set to replace Intel's Xeon Pearly platform. That also means this should be a 10nm part, and as you can see, it's a 24-core, 48-thread CPU. As far as performance, it's just an engineering sample, so it's not that important, but given the low clocks, it honestly does quite well. Next up for today, while it's great AMD is releasing their mid-range B550 boards along with full support for PCI Express 4.0, it looks like they aren't exactly priced as mid-range, at least for some boards. Both Gigabyte and MSI just released pricing for their upcoming boards. What's pretty wild is that the more premium offerings are actually more than plenty of X570 boards. In fact, the Gigabyte B550 Aorus Master is a whopping $280.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Now, with that said, they do offer boards as low as $99, and if you aren't interested in PCI Express 4.0, you could get a decent B450 board. Just make sure they plan to offer support for 4th Gen Ryzen. Next up for today, this Twitter user that we've seen leak information in the past shared a tweet about IPC gains from Intel's future architectures. The IPC improvements are based on Skylake, and first up, according to this, which I will say is certainly more of a rumor at this point, the next-gen Willow Cove gets a 25% IPC increase. That's obviously not bad, but it'll likely be quite a while before we see a 10nm Willow Cove desktop chip, and 4th Gen Ryzen is supposed to already have a pretty nice IPC increase. Either way, the next-gen Golden Cove looks to be a 50% IPC increase, though once again compared to Skylake, not a 50% increase over Willow Cove. Lastly is the 7nm Willow Cove, which has been crossed out it seems, but you can tell that it was an 80% increase, which would definitely be big. Then again, it is with a die shrink, and AMD will almost certainly be at 5nm by then, so it's really tough to say if it'll be enough. Still, it's definitely exciting to see Intel could finally be pushing back. Lastly for today, in a series of over 200 patches by AMD to their Linux drivers, it appears they added support for a new GPU. The GPU was originally found and shared by 4Onyx, and it's called Sienna Cichlid. Now, this is likely an internal codename and potentially even a separate name so as not to give away the real codename. Regardless, the big thing here is that this is a Navi GPU and potentially even big Navi. 4Onyx found code for VCN3 and DCN3, which are Navi's media and display engines respectively, so this is not a compute card. You can also see in the patch that it mentions GFX 1030, which has already been associated with Navi 21. Not only that, but Komachi thinks that the 40 variant it mentions is the same Navi 21 GPU we've seen in the past. According to 4Onyx, the code won't be added until the Linux 5.9 merge in August, which is pretty big as it means we really could see Big Navi towards the end of the year, like we've been hoping for a little while now. Let's just hope it doesn't disappoint. So while that does it for today, what did you think of the news? Excited for Big Navi or bummed about those B550 prices? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.